In a world where we sit for hours in front of screens, bend our heads over our phones, and rarely move with intention, the body is quietly breaking down every single day. Back pain, stiff neck, and heavy shoulders are not signs of aging, they are warnings. The good news? You don't need a gym or expensive equipment to turn things around. Just a few minutes a day, with 6 simple but science-based stretching exercises, can help you relieve pain, restore flexibility, and noticeably improve your posture. The only real question is this: will you start today? The doorway chest stretch is one of the most simple, yet most underrated, stretches. Even though it has a powerful impact on posture and shoulder neck health in adults. In modern life, we spend most of our time with our shoulders rolled forward, sitting at a computer, looking down at our phones, driving, or working at a desk. Over time, the chest muscles, pectoralis major and minor, become chronically tight, while the upper back muscles and shoulder stabilizers grow weak and inactive. This imbalance pulls the shoulders forward, pushes the head out in front of the body, and creates the familiar rounded, hunched posture. This doesn't just affect appearance. It increases pressure on the cervical spine, leading to neck and shoulder pain, arm numbness, and reduced shoulder mobility. The doorway chest stretch works like a lever that reopens the front of the body. When you place your forearms on the doorframe and gently lean forward, the shortened chest muscles are stretched in a controlled, safe way. At the same time, the shoulder blades are guided back toward a more neutral position, allowing the upper back and shoulder stabilizing muscles to wake up and work again. As this happens, the shoulders stop collapsing forward, the chest opens, and breathing becomes deeper and easier. Many people feel lighter in the shoulders and noticeably more relaxed after just a few correct repetitions. To perform this stretch safely and effectively, stand in a doorway and place your forearms or hands on the sides of the frame. Elbows bent about 90 degrees and level with your shoulders. Step 1 foot slightly forward for balance. Then slowly shift your body weight forward until you feel a gentle stretch across the chest and the front of the shoulders. Keep your spine tall, lightly engage your core, and avoid arching the lower back. Your head and neck should stay in line with your body. Do not push the chin forward. This is a very common mistake and it significantly reduces the benefit of the stretch. Another common error is trying to force a strong stretch as quickly as possible. Effective stretching does not come from intensity, it comes from time and control. Hold the position for 30 to 60 seconds. Breathe slowly and deeply, and allow the muscles to release naturally. If you're a beginner or have sensitive shoulders, stretch one arm at a time for better control and comfort. As you progress, you can adjust the height of your arms to target different areas of the chest. Doing the doorway chest stretch daily, especially after long periods of sitting, not only improves posture but also acts as long-term prevention against neck, shoulder pain, and shoulder injuries. It's a small exercise, but when practiced consistently, it can create a big change in how your body moves and feels every single day. Downward dog is one of the most complete and effective full-body stretches. While it comes from yoga, it is incredibly suitable for all adults, especially those who sit for long hours. What makes this pose so powerful is that it doesn't stretch just one muscle group. It targets the entire posterior chain of the body, calves, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, and spine, the areas most damaged by a sedentary lifestyle. When done correctly, downward dog decompresses the spine, opens the shoulders and chest, and activates the arms and core, creating a strong foundation for good posture and stable movement. In daily life, prolonged sitting shortens the hamstrings and calves, tilts the pelvis backward, and pulls the shoulders and upper back forward. Downward dog helps reverse this pattern. As you lift your hips up and back, the spine naturally lengthens under gravity, reducing compression on the vertebrae. At the same time, the back of the legs gradually stretches, improving flexibility and easing tension in the lower back. one of the most common causes of chronic back pain. Many people feel an immediate sense of relief after just a few deep breaths in this position. To perform downward dog correctly, start on all fours with your hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips. Slowly lift your hips up and back, straightening your arms and legs to form an inverted V shape. Focus on lengthening the spine rather than forcing your heels to touch the floor. Let your head relax between your arms, with the neck naturally aligned with the spine. No lifting, no tucking. Distribute your weight evenly between hands and feet, avoiding excess pressure on the wrists or shoulders. A common mistake is trying to straighten the legs at all costs, which rounds the back and removes the main benefit of the pose. In reality, bending the knees slightly is perfectly fine, especially for beginners or those with tight hamstrings. What matters most is keeping the spine long and feeling the stretch from the hands through the hips. Another frequent error is holding the breath. Deep, steady breathing is the key that allows the body to relax and stretch more effectively. Downward dog is not just a stretch, it's a reset for the body after hours of stillness. When practiced daily, it improves circulation, enhances body awareness, and creates a sense of lightness and clarity, both physically and mentally, just 30 to 60 seconds at a time. Yet its benefits can carry you through the entire day. The butterfly stretch is one of the most important stretches for counteracting the quiet damage caused by prolonged sitting, especially in the hips and lower back. When we sit for hours in a chair, the inner thigh muscles and hip rotators gradually shorten, and the hip joints lose their natural range of motion. Over time, this stiffness doesn't just create discomfort in the hips, it directly affects the lumbar spine, increasing the risk of lower back pain, postural imbalance, and reduced overall mobility. The butterfly stretch targets the hip joint, the body's center of movement, where the upper and lower body connect. When performed correctly, this stretch lengthens the deep inner thigh muscles while restoring mobility to the hip joint and the sacroiliac area. These regions are rarely moved in daily life, yet they play a critical role in maintaining healthy sitting and standing posture. When the hips move freely, far less stress is transferred to the lower back during bending, twisting, or standing up from a chair. That's why many people notice that as their hips open, tension in the lower back naturally begins to fade. To perform the butterfly stretch, sit on the floor with your spine tall. Bring the soles of your feet together in front of you and allow your knees to relax outward. Hold your ankles or feet gently for support. From here, hinge forward from the hips, keeping your back straight, until you feel a mild to moderate stretch along the inner thighs. Do not use your hands to push the knees down. The weight of your legs and time spent in the position are more than enough to create a safe, effective stretch. A very common mistake is rounding the back and letting the shoulders collapse forward. When this happens, the stretch shifts away from the hips and into the lower back, reducing its benefit and increasing discomfort. Another frequent error is pulling the feet too close to the body before the hips are ready, making it difficult to maintain proper alignment. If this happens, simply move your feet slightly farther away and prioritize posture over depth. Hold the butterfly stretch for 1 to 3 minutes, breathing slowly and deeply, allowing the body to release at its own pace. For those with lower back pain, sitting with your back supported against a wall can make the stretch safer and more comfortable. Practiced daily, the butterfly stretch doesn't just reduce pain and improve flexibility, it builds a strong, stable foundation for every movement you make in daily life. Child's pose is one of the safest and most deeply restorative stretches for the adult body, especially for those who live with stress, back pain, and constant neck and shoulder tension. In modern life, the spine and back extensor muscles work non-stop to keep us upright while sitting, while the mind stays in a near constant state of pressure. Over time, this mix of physical load and mental stress pushes the body into chronic tension. Child's pose acts like a reset button, guiding both the spine and the nervous system back toward a natural state of relaxation. In this position, The entire chain of spinal extensor muscles is gently lengthened, from the lower back through the mid-back and up into the neck. At the same time, the hips fold passively, reducing compression on the lower back, an area that is often overworked by prolonged sitting. The shoulders and neck, which are frequently lifted and tight throughout the day, are allowed to fully release as the body's weight settles toward the floor. That's why many people feel almost immediate relief when they enter child's pose, especially after a long workday. To perform the pose correctly, begin in a kneeling position with your knees about hip width apart or slightly wider. Slowly lower your hips back toward your heels. Then fold forward so your chest rests toward your thighs. Gently bring your forehead to the floor or onto a support. Your arms can reach forward to increase the stretch through the upper back and shoulders. Or relax alongside your body if your main goal is deep relaxation. The key is not to force the pose, but to allow your body to sink down naturally with each exhale. A common mistake is keeping the hips lifted instead of fully resting on the heels, which significantly reduces the stretch in the lower back. Another frequent issue is holding the breath or breathing shallowly. In this pose, slow, deep breathing is essential. It's what allows the nervous system to calm and the muscles to soften. With every exhale, imagine your body melting into the floor. For those with limited mobility in the knees, ankles, or hips, placing a pillow or folded towel between the hips and heels, or under the chest and forehead, can make the pose far more comfortable and accessible. Child's pose can be held for 1 to 3 minutes, or even longer if it feels good. Practiced regularly, especially in the evening, child's pose not only relieves back pain but also improves sleep and brings a deep sense of calm to both body and mind. The supine spinal twist is the next essential stretch for restoring the spine's natural ability to rotate, a movement we almost lose completely when we sit too much. In daily life, the spine is often locked into straight or slightly flexed positions, while rotational movement, especially in the mid-back, thoracic spine, is rarely used. Over time, this makes the spine stiff, less flexible, and forces extra stress onto the lower back whenever we twist, reach, or change direction suddenly. The supine spinal twist works gently but deeply on the spinal rotator muscles, the obliques, and the entire side body chain, as the knees fall to one side while the shoulders stay grounded. The spine is allowed to rotate without compression, unlike twisting in a standing position. This unloaded nature makes the stretch especially safe for people with back pain or those new to mobility work. It also helps decompress the vertebrae, improve circulation, and create a deep calming effect on the nervous system. To perform the stretch, lie on your back with your arms extended out to the sides in a T shape. Palms facing down. Bend both knees and place your feet on the floor, keeping both shoulders flat against the ground. Slowly lower your knees to one side until you feel a comfortable stretch through the back and hips. You may gently turn your head in the opposite direction to increase the stretch through the upper spine and neck. Hold for 30 to 60 seconds while breathing deeply. Then switch sides. A common mistake is letting one shoulder lift off the floor as the knees drop, which shifts the twist away from the spine and into the shoulder or hip. Another mistake is dropping the knees too quickly without control, which can irritate the lower back. Remember, the goal is not to force the knees to the floor, but to create a controlled, relaxed rotation within your comfortable range. Practiced daily, the supine spinal twist helps the spine remember how to rotate naturally, releases stiffness built up from long hours of sitting, and improves how fluid and free your body feels in movement. It's a gentle stretch with deep effects, perfect for the end of the day as a way to release tension from both body and mind. Cat-cow is the final stretch in this sequence, yet it plays a foundational role in maintaining daily spine health. While the previous exercises target specific areas, cat-cow works directly along the entire length of the spine, restoring the natural ability to flex and extend, a movement we slowly lose from prolonged sitting. In modern life, the spine often becomes frozen in a few limited positions, especially a slight forward hunch. Over time, this creates tight spinal muscles, constant disc pressure, and an overstimulated nervous system, leading to chronic back pain and overall fatigue. Cat-cow addresses this through slow, rhythmic, and intentional movement. As you move between spinal extension, cow, and spinal flexion, cat, each vertebra gently travels through its full range of motion. This improves joint lubrication, increases spinal flexibility, and releases the stiffness that builds up after long periods of sitting. At the same time, the movement activates the deep core and spinal stabilizing muscles, essential for maintaining good posture in everyday life. To perform cat-cow, start on all fours with your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. As you inhale, gently drop your belly, lift your chest and chin, and create a smooth curve in the spine. This is cow pose. As you exhale, lightly engage your core, round your back upward, and tuck your chin toward your chest, like a cat arching its spine. The movement should be slow, fluid, and fully synchronized with your breath, not rushed or mechanical. A common mistake is moving too fast, which prevents the spine from fully responding to the motion. Another is tensing the shoulders or neck. These areas should stay relaxed so the movement can flow evenly through the spine. Some people also overarch the lower back in cow pose, creating compression. The range of motion should be comfortable, controlled, and pain-free. Practicing cat-cow for 10 to 15 slow breaths a day, especially in the morning or after long periods of sitting, helps keep the spine flexible, reduces back pain, and creates a clear sense of awakening throughout the body. This is more than a stretch. It's a daily reconnection with your body through breath and mindful movement. Your body doesn't break down because of age. It breaks down because it's forced to stay still for too long. Every ache in your back, neck, or shoulders is not normal. It's a signal that your body needs movement and proper care. Just a few minutes of daily stretching, done consistently and with intention, can create a bigger change than you might expect. Less pain, more mobility, deeper sleep, and a lighter way of living. Don't wait until your body forces you to stop. Start taking care of it today, one small, steady movement at a time.